Clara, I need to speak with you. Why haven't you been listening to a thing I say? Don't you remember that you promised to come to my house this morning to make breakfast for me? Bring the vegetables here and prepare.
Oh, good morning to you too, Dolores. I'm pretty sure I already told you, but I'm afraid that while today would normally be a day off, I still need to go to work, so I'm afraid I can't come today.
What are you talking about? That sort of thing is something you can leave to another staff member, can't you? What are you trying so hard for? It's not like a woman like you is going to be able to climb the corporate ladder anyway, regardless of how hard you try. Just work normally like everybody else. You shouldn't be trying to go the extra mile. Honestly, and here I was thinking that you would quit your job once you got married. And yet, here you are, treating the all-important mother of your husband. In other words, me, like I'm chopped liver, and are just continuing to work. And on a day you're supposed to have off, no less? That's exactly the sort of day you should be accomplishing the tasks you have as a wife instead.
I'll set aside my concerns about what you just said for a moment. If we go along with your logic, you're a wife as well, aren't you?
Excuse me?
Considering your house and mine are completely separate entities in two distinct areas. This implies that our two families have distinct living spaces and activities. Why don't you take care of your own meals?
Oh my. I was wondering what sort of drivel you would come up with. I don't think you understand your place in this relationship. I am the mother of your husband. The moment you became my son's wife, I became your mother-in-law, and there is a certain standing that comes with that. A mother-in-law is to be considered a vital part of the family, and a good wife needs to do as her mother-in-law asks and treat her with the utmost respect. If you have the time to make pointless arguments that do nothing but show how little you understand, you have time to come here and do the breakfast.
I'll be getting off the train soon, so I'm going to get going. Goodbye.
What? How dare you try to just ignore me? Clara, stop being so impudent with me and come back here already. A new wife like you has no right to act so selfishly to someone like me. Cut the arrogance and answer me. Clara, are you there? I will be expecting you to come over and do the lunch today, understand? You need to stop lollygagging, come over to my house and get started.
Good morning to you too, Dolores. I'm afraid that I have already headed out for the day, so I will not be able to come over.
Excuse me?
I don't see what there is to misunderstand. I'm already out of the house, and Ralph is with me.
What? You're out with Ralph?
Yes, I had already promised him that we would have lunch together in a French restaurant today.
You made plans with him on your own. How dare you not invite me? I told you that I needed to be considered as a vital part of the family, didn't I? Not inviting me along is terribly disrespectful.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was out of respect that I chose not to invite you along. You always don't like eating outside, don't you?
What do you mean?
The last time I invited you to go out to a restaurant, you said as much and angrily rejected my invitation, remember? Ralph had been listening to the whole thing, and he made the suggestion that we not invite you this time around so you wouldn't get so riled up about it.
You mean it was Ralph's idea?
Yes, Ralph had suggested it in the first place. So all I was doing was following his advice. Nothing more. As you are a vital member of the family, I wanted to respect your prior choice and not unduly trouble you. So I didn't have any objection to the idea.
What? But hold on.
I'm sorry, but Ralph and I are going to be arriving at the restaurant shortly, so I won't be responding to further texts. Dolores, are you there? Do you have any idea why I suddenly find myself looking at divorce papers on my dinner table?
So you found them then?
Not only did I find them, I see that Ralph's portion of them seemed to already be filled out.
Well, yes. You understand what this means, don't you? Ralph is on his mother's side. He is choosing me over you. When I brought to his attention how you were so terribly disrespecting me, he immediately got divorce papers ready. And now they have been handed over to you.
Oh, wow. Another case of you trying to bully me. What a completely original and entirely unexpected development.
What are you talking about? I am not bullying you.
Well, you certainly don't seem to have any desire to support your son and his wife's new life together, do you? You can't leave me alone for even a single day.
Don't you go trying to make this my fault. This is all your fault for not treating me with the proper respect and care I deserve. He has no need for a wife who will not obey me as you. If you don't want to divorce my son, you probably should work on trying to treat me better. I suggest you keep those divorce papers with you as a little warning to remind you of how you should be acting. For a wife who doesn't respect her husband's mother's authority, you do realize that there's no real solution other than divorce?
I can't say I have any idea what era you're stuck in, but it's certainly not the present. We're far from the time of treating grown-up children, in-laws, or not like slaves. But since you were so kind as to prepare Ralph's half of the documents and deliver them to me, I'll be happy to go and submit them.
We are going to do what?
We can call this the day that Ralph and I get divorced. How does that sound? I don't see any problem.
Wait, hold on.
What's wrong? Ralph filled out the forms, right? He clearly desires to get divorced, so I don't think there's much I can do about it. I would be a terrible wife if I didn't honor his wishes, even if I might not agree with him. It's for the best.
Wait, no, that's not what those papers are for. Those are just meant as a warning.
Anyway, I'll be heading to the county courthouse to get these papers filed. I'll be heading back to my parents' house afterwards, so don't expect me to be coming back, okay?
Wait a moment. Clara? You aren't seriously going to file those papers, are you? Clara! Clara, pick up the phone. What is going on here? What is happening?
Oh, hello, my ex-mother-in-law.
Huh? Ex?
Oh, that's right. I guess calling you something like that makes it sound horribly disrespectful. Why don't I just call you by your name like I always did instead? Anyways, Dolores, what is it you want to ask me?
Yes. That's right. You're being horribly rude. Don't you think you're going too far?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
Why do I have to move out of this house? It's like I was gotten out suddenly. Furthermore, it was you who suggested that I move out. What's happening to me? It's utterly ridiculous. His rudeness truly knows no bounds.
Oh, really? You still don't understand what's going on?
I truly don't understand what's happening. I want you to explain it clearly.
It seems like Ralph hasn't told you, but I think you should ask your son. I don't want to say much to you. Quickly pack your things and leave by next Monday. I need to take back this house.
It seems like you're being quite arrogant. You're acting as if you're the owner of this house.
That's right. You're absolutely right. I am the owner of the house you've been living in for the past 2 years.
What? This is absolutely insane. If you don't know, then I'll tell you. This is the house my son bought for me. He wanted me to stay in the city so he could take care of me. Since my husband passed away, he has showered me with love and care.
Huh? This is his own house? Let me clarify for you. 2 years ago, when your husband passed away, Ralph was deeply concerned about leaving you alone in a remote town. He suggested bringing you to the city to live closer to us. He could only be at ease if you were nearby. Right from the beginning, he intended to rent a house for you, but the cost was too high.
So this isn't the house he bought?
Buying a house in the city center costs an exorbitant amount. At that time, he didn't have much money either. Ralph suggested borrowing this house to provide you with a place to live.
Just wait. I need to calm down. But how did you end up with such a large and beautiful house like this? How...
Actually, this is the only asset my mother left for me before she passed away. She sold the house in the countryside to buy this house. She put the property in my name. Ralph also knows about this, so he wanted to rent this house for you to live in. And I agreed to have you move here. After all, you are my mother-in-law, so you could live in this house without paying any expenses. But Ralph boasted that it's his house.
That's outrageous. I'm as a beggar living in another house for the past 2 years.
I'm sorry, but that's the situation you got yourself into. I signed the divorce papers, which means I'm no longer Ralph's wife. You're no longer my mother-in-law either. Therefore, I have the right to take back this house. You should accept this and leave.
No, Clara. If I leave, I'll have nowhere to go. I also can't contact Ralph.
I don't care how you'll live from now on. We have no relationship with each other anymore. I have no reason to help someone as unpleasant as you. Remember that I've already signed the divorce papers.
So where should I go?
Isn't it that you still have a small house in the countryside? It's more suitable for you to live there than here. I assume your son has also moved back there. His belongings are no longer in the room here.
Then I'll go back to the countryside to find him. My life will be meaningless if he's not by my side.
That's not my concern. Goodbye.
Kara, please, answer the phone. Look, let's just cancel the divorce, okay? How does that sound? Please, can't you just go back to how things were with him?
I'm sorry. What? What are you going on about all of a sudden?
Ralph said some terrible things. To me, I'll just quote it directly. He said, "I don't want to live with a mother who makes my wife get a divorce because she won't obey unreasonable demands. He told me to live my own life."
Oh my, that's completely understandable. Honestly, I don't even know why you're surprised.
What?
Look, Dolores, there's something you need to understand. It has to do with those divorce papers that you left for me to find. I knew that Ralph hadn't filled out those forms himself. From the very beginning, it was obvious that you had filled everything out yourself.
Excuse me?
The handwriting is completely different. Anyone who has seen Ralph write anything would notice the difference.
You mean you filed the papers even though you knew all of that?
Yes, I have submitted it.
Please withdraw them. He's not at fault in this matter at all. Not even falsely claiming ownership of the house. It's all me. I've shattered the happiness of your marriage. I truly apologize. Actually, I just wanted to scare you because you weren't listening to me. You didn't care about my meals. I just wanted to give you a lesson, but Ralph got very angry with me, and it seems like he doesn't want to see me anymore.
Please accept that your son doesn't want you anymore and go back to your rural area. The divorce case will be processed soon, so please don't bother me anymore. In other words, from now on, we are strangers.
Why does nobody care about me? Why will nobody take care of me anymore?
After I blocked communication with Dolores, she kept calling Ralph incessantly, but it seems he's no longer concerned about his mother either. She lives alone in a small countryside house and takes care of herself. From what I've heard, she's doing farming in the countryside to make a living day by day. Yet, she still complains all day about rural life. She can't distinguish between selfishness and care, probably feeling lonely after losing her husband. Therefore, her actions are driven by a desire to grasp attention and affection from everyone. But it seems like no one cares about her. My life alone isn't too bad either. I'm free to do things I enjoy without her constant nagging.
I don't need to serve or cook for anyone anymore.
Ralph, on the other hand, hasn't been in touch with me either. It seems he's also hesitant because his mother has caused a rupture in the family's emotions. No longer has any presence in my life. I also don't want to care about his family anymore. Life has become better without him. Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and hit the subscribe button below.